Hi folks, Will at our workshop. It's been a year or so since my last update on the garage, and 2024 has been a bit of a hard year to juggle a few projects, not least my Armenia Defender, which took up most of last year. There's been a lot of things running through my head, but I'm just going to give you a bit of a brief update and I'll dive into more detail in a later video. But essentially, planning permission has been approved, building control has been approved. 2025 is going to be the year when the clouds are parting, and it looks like the year that things are going to happen. I was all prepped for giving an update in 2024 and going through the process, but it's been a bit up and down. Plan A, I'm on plan A, B, and now C, which I'm going to talk about in the next video. But in this one, I'm just going to give you a reminder of the overall plan, talk about plan permission, building control, and some of the other things that are coming up. So I've just thrashed this out on a whiteboard. Right, basically, this is the plan. 9 metre by 7 metre garage to take 2 Land Rovers in a T configuration. That means that I can get a lift here. One of them will go up into the ridgeline. It also means there's more space working on either side. So there'll be a 5 metre door there. That means that I can parallel park one back into that position there. Let me get a Defender actually. Here's one where my kids broke the axle off. But basically, parallel park back in like that, and it's not to scale, but you get the idea. One park there, one park there, or you can also have 2 parked either side and you can drive them both out. So that kind of dictates the dimensions. I put a lot of work into trying to get the dimensions right. It leaves us with a ridge line of about 5 metres or so. And there's the door looking from the side. That's the plan view. So how it's laid out is that this is the road at the front of the property. This is our boundary line here, and the boundary line is the edge of the road and the pavement. This is where the garage is going. The house is over here. There's a big tree here, Copper Beech, and there's going to be a driveway going around there. So planning permission was for building a new access and a drop curb, and that was approved. And that came with a few constraints. I did have a bit of a worry here because basically there's the old garden line was along here. This is the original garden that had restrictive covenants on terms of building stuff within the property curtilage, but then this is agricultural land, a big chunk of field that a previous owner bought. I did have a few concerns about, planning had been rejected for a house in this plot in the past, based on being outside the natural line of the village, but and this being former agricultural land, but it turned out to be fine. Planning said, yep, go ahead, it's all fine. Their main constraints or restrictions were around the access. But basically what they've said is the gate, if there's a gate, it needs to be positioned 6 metres back from the carriageway. So that includes the pavement. The pavement's about 1.8 metres, so 4.2 metres into the property. The gate needs to go. That's so that when you drive off, you're not blocking the highway, basically. Even though it's a cul-de-sac, this is kind of like the modern gold standard. And there's so many homes that have gates that are opening right onto a carriageway, don't have visibility displays and all that, but this is what you've got to do these days to meet these standards. So a car will basically drive off the carriageway and won't block the road before they then go through a gate into the property. So the gate needs to be here, and it needs to be 6 metres back from the carriageway, and it needs to be inward opening, permanently inward opening, so that the gate can't swing either, so that you don't have to park here to open the gate to get through, and also so the gate's not going to swing into the carriageway, which is fair enough. The other restriction they had is that you can't have any water draining onto the highway. So I know, just put a bit of a gully here, stop any water getting through. But other than that, there wasn't really any restrictions. It was like, yep, fine, build it to the same as the plans you submitted. You've got 3 years to do it. Off you go. The next aspect was building control. So I'll go into a bit more detail about how I quoted and came to this conclusion. But basically, I got someone to design this. It's a timber garage. I want a timber garage, timber clad. I have looked at metal garages, but I'll talk about that in the other video. But because there's no joists, I want it free span so that the vehicle can lift up into the ridgeline. There's no joists in there, which means you need steel in it. So I needed a structural engineer to design it. And I submitted that to building control. And that basically got approved. I need building control because it's 63 square meters, so it's bigger than 30 square meters minimum requirement. It is further than 1 meter the boundary. It's about 3 meters this way and about 3 meters this way. So it wasn't a requirement from the positioning, but it was a requirement from the size of the property. Anyway, that passed, and their only stipulation was the fact that this tree is a copper beech tree. The the engineer had put it down to 0.9 meters, which is a fairly standard approach for this size of tree. But building control said there needs to go to full depth foundations, considering that the tree might grow to 20 meters, 18 or 20 meters potentially. So they need the foundations to go down to 1.65 on the trench. It's a raft foundation with a trench fill around the edge. So that was their requirement, basically, that has to go a lot deeper. They didn't require any soil tests or anything like that. The engineer's been fairly conservative. We ended up with a bloody big trench, bloody deep trench filled with concrete. But there we go. There is a bit of clay in the soil, so there is some shrinking and cracking. So he took that into consideration in that respect. But basically, that's green light. It's ready to go 2025. I'll talk about finances in another video, some more specifics. But what's happening next is I've got a drop curb going in. That should be happening next week. So this year, hopefully, a contractor will be building the garage. Drop curb's going to go in, and then the driveway will be a DIY prospect in the future. But I'm happy to do a lot of DIY stuff, but this main bit, I'm going to have to get a contractor to do that. So that is just a very quick update on what's going on. I was at Newbury Spares Day in October, and 2 people recognised me from YouTube, came to say hi and have a chat, which was nice. One of them said, "You need to get on with your garage, because I want to know what you build, so I know what to build," following on from that. So I feel a bit guilty for not giving an update, which is why I've done this video. But there is a lot more detail to come, and I'll be explaining and videoing the whole process throughout the course of this year. And so I think there's a button for following along somewhere on here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.